Hey, it's Jimmy and Michelle from H&M Plating. Say good morning, Michelle.
Morning.
I hope everybody's doing good this morning. Today, we're actually going to be talking about gas and steam turbines. If anybody's got questions, feel free to interrupt, stop me, and we can discuss anything you guys have or having issues with. We were established in 1971, and we're very successful in reconditioning equipment for over the last 50 plus years now. In 2015, we started acquiring some companies, one of which was Mirror Industries, which is another chrome plating shop. And then around 2019, we acquired Schumacher Dixie. So the big thing with H&M is we're ISO certified. We are the largest coating and grinding company anywhere in North America now. There's nobody that can, one, beat our turnaround time, and two, beat our capacity. We brought Michelle in a few years ago. And Michelle, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Well, I've been working in this industry for about 11 years now. And previously I was selling steel, low alloy steel. And I met Jimmy through a mutual customer. So we knew each other for a few years before I came on board. And H&M kept acquiring more companies. So Jimmy was the only sales guy at that time. And then once they bought Schumacher at the end of 2019, he brought me on board so that I can help out with the sales.
And man, did we have the right choice. We found the right business development person. I couldn't be more excited about having you come on board. You have definitely helped us out and complimented me well. We've spread things out. She has mainly the oil field side. I'm trying to get her more into a variety of other things now because as we all know, we never know when the oil field is going to take a nosedive. So we are trying to keep diversifying and keep growing our portfolio and the entire company. So we're excited. And Michelle, thanks for being on board with us. Thanks for not leaving me yet. As you can see, we've got a variety here on this first slide that we're looking at. Our big thing is chrome plating, and then of course the HVOF. Sulfamate nickel we can apply, and then of course with the HVOF, you've got a ton of different coatings that we can apply, especially your stainless steel, your tungsten carbides, your aluminum oxide, your plasma, arc wire. There's just a big variety of things that we do there. What we're talking about today is going to be mainly HVOF coatings that we'll apply on the turbine. But again, keep that in mind. If there's anything else that anybody needs, we can also help you guys with that as well. There's the tag team duo. I've been with the company now 17 years. Michelle's been here 3 years. And man, it's been a hell of a ride. Some big things that we stand out from everybody else in the industry goes back to our core values. One thing that I've always said is that we're only as good as our customer service is. If we can't go out and give some of our customers the time and effort to sit down with them, give them some consulting, help them with projects, then why would you want to use us? So one of our big things is you got to have communication and you got to have knowledge of what we're doing here. So many of these places, they get complacent with just selling stuff instead of let's sit down and figure out a way to actually make your product better for your customer. And let's make this a lot better situation to where other people are going to say, you know what, I don't want to go to the X spray shop. I want to go to H&M Plating. Those guys will actually sit down and figure it out and help me out with it. Because I don't, some of our customers, they don't know everything about spray. That's our job. So the next thing is our turnaround times. Man, because of our capacity, we've got nearly 100 grinders throughout our company, but because of that capacity, we can turn these quick turnarounds, 5 to 7 day working days, standard most of the time. And then we can do expedited stuff anywhere from 2 to 3 days. So again, today we're going to be talking about turbines. Man, we turn turbines around all day long that some of these refineries and these guys get into a bind. And when they need it quick. So we can actually turn that stuff around, and we've done it in 1 to 2 days sometimes if we need to. Obviously, it's going to cost a little bit more, but we can do it. Our quality assurance and our certificate, We've got Michelle McGahee, and she's got all of our shops set up to where we are ISO certified, and we give you all the certificates of conformance with everything, every part that we actually do, whether it be the grinding, the coating, or what have you. So you'll get all that, so you can actually show your customer that, hey, this has been pretty much certified by our control and quality team to make sure that you're getting the best quality for your product. We've got expertise. Again, expertise goes back to the fact that we've got some of the best grinders, the best coders in the company. Also, I'm big on making sure that our salespeople understand what our products that we are trying to give to our customers. If we don't know things in order to help you out as a customer, how are you going to get better? And how are we going to get better as a team? I think, Michelle, you can elaborate on this, but I mean, everything I want you to do in the rotating world, I'm getting you to learn. So you constantly learn things as we go through a daily routine, because there's always something that you never know, man, that comes up, and you may learn something new every day. So when you think you know everything, man, you don't. The other thing is our state-of-the-art large scale facilities. We have more equipment than anybody in the country, and we've got some specialty equipment that nobody else has. So let's go on to the next slide. Refurbishing your steam and gas turbines. That's what we're going to be talking about today. These are high dollar, high RPM parts that, man, they have to be precision ground and precision coated. Otherwise, you have catastrophic failures in the field, and everything will come apart because they are turning at 5,000 RPMs, 10,000 RPMs. Or, depending on the size and complexity of these, they go really fast. And if you don't have everything done exactly right, the coatings will come off, things will happen, and it's not going to work in the field. You never want a reputation where your coatings are coming off. So surface preparation, the first thing that we do is the rotor will come in, or a turbine shaft will come in. First thing we do is we put it between centers. We'll actually make sure that the concentricity on the centers runs from end to end, and we're within usually anywhere from 1/10 to 5/10. These are high precision parts that have a lot of RPM. So if there's any vibration in this, when it's in the machine and it's running, if that thing gets out of whack or out of balance, and it's going to mess up that coating, it's going to come apart, and we're going to have to redo whatever we've already done. So the first thing is we make sure the centers are good. We go in, we'll prep the areas. Usually your bearing journals and seal journals are the ones that go bad, or seal fits, excuse me. So typically, most of the time, it's just the bearing journals, which you can see in this picture that's still here, is the first area right up next to the wheels. And what we do is we go in, we'll prep grind those areas, we'll remove the oil coating, we'll take that area down to a clean, smooth surface, and then we will remove all the coating, make sure there's no pinholes or anything like that. And then once we've done that, we stop the bus, we check it, see how deep it is, see how much coating we're going to have to put on, and then we will actually do a die check, which is a die penetration inspection, to make sure there's no indications that there's any cracks or pinholes in that base material. We never want to leave pinholes in there, or if the shaft is cracked, you have to make a new one. So we always check that before we move it on to the next area. Once it all passes the die penetration inspection, we move it over to the spray shop. All right. So now we've moved your rotor over to the coating area, which is our spray shop. First thing we'll do is we'll either one of two things. We'll determine whether or not we need to mask any areas on here. Usually we'll mask the wheel area because we don't want to get any overspray on the wheel, because again, you have to balance all that. You don't want any overspray on anything if you can get away with it. If you see in this picture right there at the wheel hub, they've got wheel hubs, and on those hubs, we've got that area masked. Now, what we'll do is when we spray this, we can actually, because it's not as close as some of these others, we can actually just put up blinds to be able to stop the coating from overshooting a different area. So first thing we do is we take it over, we'll clean the surfaces that we're actually going to spray. Then we'll take it, we'll mask the wheel, mask any areas that we need to cover, and then we'll blast it. So once it's blasted, We have about an hour from the time it's blasted to the time we put it on the machine to actually spray it. And I say that because there is a ton of companies out there that will actually let these things sit overnight. And here in Houston, you got a ton of moisture, a ton of humidity. It gets into that blast and it won't give you a good bond strength. It'll grind good, it'll look good, but once that thing gets wet or damaged in there, it'll wind up essentially coming off. So you don't want a delamination issue. Then once we get these into the machine, this video illustrates how we're actually spraying it. We'll set it up, we'll spray it. We try and shoot for overspray. Let's just say we're trying to hit 1 inch as a diameter that we're trying to cover. So we will shoot it probably 20 or 25 thousandths oversized in order to make sure that we can maintain true concentricity in that area, and then also make sure you have enough to be able to come down to make sure everything is true and straight. So once we do that, we actually will take the mics, go in, make sure that we've got enough stock for the grinder to be able to achieve his part of it, make sure we got enough stock, and then we let it cool, and then we'll move it back out to the grind shop. Anybody have any questions on that?
Yes, Jimmy, we have a question.
Okay.
They want to know if you guys ever remove the compressor discs to rework the shafts, or if they're permanently on there, they can be removed.
Great question. Are you talking about the wheel?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the turbine wheel, 9 times out of 10, if we can actually fix this without having to take that off, because that's usually on our customers. The big thing with that is that it is so hard. You have to heat that up because it's a pressed on fit. It's really difficult to take that off for the customer, basically our end user that sends them to us. It's really difficult to take that off and then have to go and put it back on when you have new fresh coating. So 9 times out of 10, they leave those on there. And if they have to take it off, they're usually making a new shaft. Okay. And we'll talk about new shafts here at the very end of this because we can also do those. But that is a great question because it is very difficult to take these off and then put it back on. And then once you get it back on, then you got to rebalance it in the whole 9 yards. You're going to have to rebalance it regardless. But it is a situation where it's easier to just leave it on there. Let me get everything running straight and then kind of go from there.
Also,
Great
what is the maximum size that the wheel could be? Like, is there a max weight?
Well, I mean, currently, so our max wheel size right now is we can do up to 47.5 inches in diameter. And then our weight was about 10,000 pounds. And let's just stick with that for now. We are putting in here at H&M some 20,000 pound cranes, but it's difficult for me to get a 20,000 pound part into our spray booth just because of the overhead capacity in there. But we like to stay that, 10,000 pounds, and some of these shafts, I mean, these shafts aren't always that long, but some of these, when you start adding those wheels on there, when you have a multiple set of wheels, they get super heavy. So you wind up getting bigger turbine shafts and stuff like that. But right now we can turn up to 47.5 inches and then about 10,000 pounds. All right, let's go to the next video. Finish grind process. This is where your precision grinders have to be dead on. So, and what I mean by that is the first thing that we do on this is we'll put this back up in the machine once it's actually been sprayed. We put it up in the machine, we re-indicate to make sure that the shaft itself is still running true and straight. Again, your tolerances on these are about 5/10, okay? Not 5 thousandths, you're 5/10, okay? Some of our customers want us to hold like 2/10. So, I mean, it's a crazy way to look at it, but if you really think about it, that's almost dead nut. I mean, there can't be any indications on that when you put a indicator on there. Can't be any movement in there, hardly at all. So that's the first thing we'll do. We'll put it up, we'll check it, we'll recheck the areas, make sure we got enough coating for the grinder to hit size, and then he'll start his finish grind process. Typically, we'll grind one side, and then we'll go to the other side, and then we'll polish. It just depends on that grinder or that day, but usually you want to go in and leave a little stock, to where you can actually polish it back down the areas that you're doing. So typically we do about a 6 RMS finish on these shafts, and then we leave no waves from the polishing. You leave absolutely no waves in that coating to where you have a nice smooth finish. If there's waves in it, a lot of customers will reject it, and or you may have to just redo that area. It's very difficult, and it is a precision technique that you have to get just like, again, dead nut on this. So first they'll grind it down to size or within maybe a thousandths, and then they'll polish it. Once we have finished it, got it back into size, we'll have a final inspection. Our QC department will come over to actually check the size, make sure it's within tolerance. We try and hit the middle of the tolerance, which is about 2.5 tenths in the middle there. And then we'll do another die check. Once we do that second die check, again, we're giving you certificates of conformance so that you have all your paperwork together. We want to make sure that there's no cracking, no pitting, no nothing inside that coating area that we just replaced. That is a big deal because a lot of people kind of overlook some of that stuff and just send it out anyway. And I've seen it firsthand from going out and visiting with customers, and they asked me, hey, how could something like this happen? And I was like, man, I didn't do that. So we look at it and we help them out with it. Once we get that wrapped up, the QC's done, the die penetrance done, we get everything square, everything looks good. We give the customer a runout report, certificate of conformance with the coating, certificate of conformance with the grinding and everything. And then what we'll do is, or the die check, the coating, and the runout report. Once we're done with that, we wrap it up and let the customer know that, hey, it's ready to go. Anybody have any questions on that?
Yes, Jimmy, Gus has a question. He's asked, do we typically include hardness testing with our processes, with our paperwork?
We can, we don't. So that's a special request, sir. No, we don't normally do that, but we can if that's what you want. Yeah, we can do that.
And then also we have another question about if we do burnishing.
We don't do the burnishing in-house. We're working on that. We're going to set that up here in the near future. Currently, we have to send that out. Everything else we do in-house. Those are really good questions too. Thank you, Gus. Any other questions?
What is
right.
the tightest tolerance so we can hold on the shafts?
Man, the tightest tolerance you can hold on a shaft is about 2 tenths.
2 tenths.
Yes, ma'am. And that is, again, that is an art in itself.
And then how about the surface finish? What's the best
RMS finish? I mean, again, our standard is under 8 RMS. Usually it's under 8 to 6 RMS, but I mean we're almost always under that. We give it back to you like it's brand new. And those are really good questions too, by the way. What else, Michelle?
One more question. How do we check the centers?
Well,
verify the centers.
You put an indicator, you put a dial indicator on it. I mean, first of all, you're gonna cut centers. The guy that cuts the centers is gonna have a dial indicator on the actual shaft where we're running it at, and he checks all the areas on the shaft to make sure they're all running true and straight. So we'll cut the centers, and then you'll have an indicator. I know you can't see it. I don't know if y'all can see my little arrow right here, but you see that center that's on the end of the shaft. You'll check that first area, your second area, and then you'll check the bearing area. And you just run it all the way down the shaft just to make sure that you're running within a 0.5 thousandths. That's another really good question. Now, of course, there's a whole lot of processes that go along with that. We have to make sure that all of our calibrations are done on all of our instruments to make sure that nothing's off. There's a dial indicator. So this is how you would actually check it. You would actually run that dial indicator on there to make sure that you're actually within tolerance all the way down that shaft. Any other questions on that? Does everybody understand that? Okay, so all we've talked about so far is repairing shafts. All we've talked about up to this point is the fact that you're going to send me a shaft in that's got a wheel hub on it or a turbine wheel on it, and then you're going to actually want me to refurbish the areas that are worn out. We also have the ability to manufacture shafts. here at H&M, we actually carry all the Elliots, AYR through DYR, on the shelf that it can be made and done within a couple of days of you ordering one. And we've got them sitting on the shelf. They're blank. All we got to do is cut the fits and coat and grind it and then polish it. So please keep that in mind. And again, it's not just the Elliots. Those are the ones we keep on the shelf. They're usually the most popular. So you got a Terry shaft that I've got sitting here in my office that is literally brand new. All we would have to do is coat and grind it and send it out to the customer. Everything has already been done, but we manufacture these. So if you need somebody to help you guys out with manufacturing this stuff as well, then we can do that. So we can
We have
manufacture.
another question real quick. What is the base material that we use for the shafts that we stock?
It's usually 4140 or stainless. Actually, yeah, it's 4140.
And can we provide the MTRs, the material certs?
If we manufacture the shaft, Michelle, we have to provide the MTRs. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's part of the service with it. We can provide all that information. Again, we're still going to give you a runout report. We're going to give you dye penetrant. We're going to give you for before and after the coating goes on. And then you also are going to have the coating certificate. So you'll have all that when we make you a new shaft, plus your MTRs. So keep us in mind. Again, we can manufacture shaft or refurbish them, however you guys want us to do it. We can do it both ways. Just call me or Michelle and let us know what you need. We can do them in a rush. We can, or expedited. We can do it however you need it. We have been doing it for a number of years now, and we are actually becoming one of the best at getting parts out the door. So here's the benefits of refurbishing. First thing is just like this right here. You see all those wheels on there? That is a son of a gun to get all those wheels off of there. That is a project in itself. If I can't see how many people we have listening to this, but if I've got any customers on there that deal with these, then you guys know you'd have to heat these up and hammer them down and get them all off of there for us to be able to fix that shaft. The big thing is we can hold that shaft up, coat and grind the areas that have been damaged, and then give you this shaft back, not ever taking the wheels off, and give it back to you in a few days, and man, off you go. And you didn't have to have all that extra work that's involved in taking these wheels off. So refurbishing can save you time and money. Obviously, when you have to make a shaft, it takes a couple of extra days. Plus, then it has to come back to me to coat and grind. So it goes from machining to coating and grinding. So it takes extra time. If you just give me the shaft with the wheel on it, man, we can do it pretty quick. So one of the benefits with us is we provide the fastest turnaround in North America. Nobody else can keep up with us as far as what we're doing. We've got several shifts, so we can coat and grind at night and during the day. So we've got 24/7 capabilities on that. We're the number one team in North America that's actually going to help you consult with what you need and get you out of a bind on anything that you need help with. We understand that all of our customers can be demanding at times, and we understand that. When you're getting into these big refineries that are losing $1 million a day because they got a turbine shaft that's down, man, we'll get you out of that bind. Call us. We will help. We ensure the highest quality and minimize the risk of damage. So again, we're human. People make mistakes, but we try to minimize the risk on every step that we go through to make sure that we don't leave anything out. We also guarantee that you'll be satisfied with our service. We have some testimonials here from different customers. I'll let you kind of read through those, but we've got customers that, man, they'll call me and all the time and come out and look at jobs, and they'll want to consult and make sure that they're actually putting the right coating on whatever project they have going on. The big thing is that most of these companies that are still doing what we do have people that aren't interested in going out and talking to the customer anymore. They want to sit behind the desk and say, okay, just send it. Just send it. Well, some people have forgotten what it's like to be customer service. It's not just the sale. I mean, even if I can't help you, I'm still going to give you ideas on where you can go to get whatever you're looking to do get done. It's all about connections and it's all about networking. If I help you today and it doesn't benefit me, you're probably going to try and call me back at some point and say, hey, can you help me with this job? So that's the reason why we always want to make sure that we're trying to satisfy our customers no matter what, even if it's not coming to us. So, questions, concerns, Michelle?
Yes, we do have another question.
Awesome.
Do we only work on the shafts, or is there any services that we can provide on the wheel?
We can coat and grind the wheels too. We don't normally talk about that, but yes, we can coat and grind the bore on the wheel. So when you'd have to take the wheel off in order for us to look at that bore. And I don't have any pictures of that right now, but we have coated and ground the bores on some of these, and it's a tough job, but we've done a bunch of them like that.
And would that be chrome or thermal spray that we've done on the bore?
Usually we put chrome on them, but we can do either or. Yeah, we can do either or on that stuff. I mean, let's talk about it. Let's figure out what they need. I mean, usually that area is not going to move a whole lot. Usually it's a shrink fit, so the actual chrome actually works a lot better there, just because it kind of shrinks and grows with the heat or the cold. A lot of people don't know any better, so and there's a lot more spray shops than there are chrome shops, so they'll just go with a spray shop and have somebody spray it. We can do either one. It doesn't matter. So whatever the customer wants, we'll provide that service.
And then Gus said that he appreciates us sharing this information.
Don't tell anybody, Gus. Well, thank you, Gus, for being on the line with us, man. We really appreciate it. Any other questions, concerns? Well, look, either way, I don't know how many people are on here, but I just want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to make sure that you guys understand that me and Michelle are at your beck and call. We are here to provide you a service, and we'll do backflips to help you out. That's what we do. That's what's built this company, and that's what's going to create a larger scale company here in the future. Anybody that we bring in with us is going to have to do the same things that me and Michelle do. We want to be your number one go-to on coatings and grindings, no matter what it is. So please stay tuned. And again, I want to thank you for tuning in. Please contact us if you need anything. Have a great day.